In today's video, we're gonna do a 6-month review on my budget 3-inch lift I put on my XJ. I wanna go over the components I used, why I used them, and how I feel about this 3-inch lift. All right, so it's been 6 months since I put the lift on the Jeep, and I figured today is a great day to kind of review what I did to it. The reason why I call this a budget lift is you're not spending a bunch of money buying brand new parts. You know, the rear I salvaged springs from a 99 Durango, which saved me a lot of money. I feel like I spent the money where it needed to be spent. You know, as far as coil springs and shocks and extended brake lines. So first things first, let's go over the components I have on the front, starting with the 3-inch BDS Pro Ride coils. I chose these because BDS has a no fine print warranty, and if I have any issues with my coils, you know, sagging, bending, breaking, I could just give them back to them and get a new set. So these springs are a 240 pound per inch spring rating. The factory coils, I believe, are 180 pounds per inch. So it's a little bit firmer than the stock spring. I think it's about perfect for what you need. For shocks, I have KYB gas adjust monotube shocks all the way around. The fronts are for an 87 to 95 YJ. The rears are basically for a Ford truck from the 1980s all the way up to 2018. These KYB gas adjust shocks have 25% more damping than the OEM shocks that came on those vehicles. I think the BDS springs and the KYB shocks work great together to give you a nice firm ride. Other components that I put on the front were Crown Performance extended brake lines that are meant for a 4 to 6 inch lift on your XJ or ZJ. These brake lines being for a 4 to 6 inch lift, you would think that they'd be too long for a 3-inch lift, but I haven't had any issues with them yet. For bump stops in the front, I'm running Daystar 2-inch extended bump stops with 2 hockey pucks mounted to the axle. This gives me enough bump stops so my tires don't contact my fenders at all. So that's the components I use to lift the front of this Jeep. Things I would add to the front is actually sway bar disconnects. At this moment, I don't actually have a sway bar. The stock sway bar links are way too short to run on a 3-inch lift. I've heard that you can run sway bar links from an F-250 and it'll be just about perfect. But I think in the future what I want to do is actually build my own sway bar disconnects. See if I can make them any cheaper than like what Rubicon Express offers. So on to the rear. In the rear I decided to use a bastard pack. I'm using a leaf pack from a 99 Durango, which is the 5-leaf pack. The stock XJ leafs are only a 950 pound rating. These 5-leaf Durango packs are actually rated for 1,800 pounds. You would think almost doubling the weight rating that they would ride rough, but I have no complaints. For the bastard pack, I pretty much used all of the Durango pack except the 3rd leaf and the main. The Durango leaf pack actually uses a 9/16 center pin. So what that means for your XJ is you're going to have to drill out any leafs to 3/8 and also drill out the axle perch to 9/16. For U-bolts, I ordered stock length XJ U-bolts, and they seem to work great. If you watch my part 2 on the lift of this XJ, you'll know that I broke the upper bolts for both rear shocks. That's not a big deal. Every XJ I've ever lifted, I've broke those bolts. Basically, all you got to do is take a punch bit and an air hammer, push the remaining amount of that bolt out of the cross member, and reinstall some 3/8 bolts. I did that on this Jeep, and at the same time, I built my own bar pin eliminators, therefore extending the shock 1 more inch. I actually did bar pin eliminators on the front and the rear. In the rear, I'm running a 4-inch extended bump stop from Crown. That Crown bump stop is bolted to an 1.5 inch square tube. That square tube is then welded to the stock position up on the frame. I don't get any kind of rubbing with this Jeep at all with these bump stops set up that way. As far as tires, I'm running 32-inch TSL Swampers. With this setup, I'm still running the stock upper and lower control arms and also the stock track bar. At 3 inches of lift, I'm pretty much at the limit of what these lower control arms will let me droop to. With all these components, I think it rides the best. On-road, it handles great, it's got a nice firm ride. And off-road, I get as much flex as I need. This combination gives me some great flex, even though I'm still running the stock upper and lower control arms. And that's pretty much what I got. Things I would add to this lift would be sway bar disconnects, so I can actually run a sway bar again. Adjustable lower control arms and a track bar. There is a slight driveline vibration, but it's nothing to be worried about. Eventually, I'd like to add a hack and tap to the transfer case and a new drive shaft, just to get rid of a small amount of driveline vibrations. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. I'll have links to everything down in the description below. I am an Amazon affiliate, and as an Amazon affiliate, I do earn on qualified purchases. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.